Federalist Paper 8, Part 4, the Kingdom of Great Britain falls within the first description. An insular situation and a powerful marine guarding it in a great measure against the possibility of foreign invasion supersede the necessity of a numerous army within the kingdom. A sufficient force to make head against a sudden descent till the militia could have time to rally and embody is all that has been deemed requisite. No motive of national policy has demanded, nor would public opinion have tolerated, a larger number of troops upon its domestic establishment. There has been, for a long time past, little room for the operation of the other causes which have been enumerated as the consequences of internal war. This peculiar felicity of situation has, in a great degree, contributed to preserve the liberty which that country to this day enjoys, in spite of the prevalent venality and corruption. If, on the contrary, Britain had been situated on the continent and had been compelled, as she would have been by that situation, to make her military establishments at home coextensive with those of the other great powers of Europe, she, like them, would in all probability be, at this day, a victim to the absolute power of a single man. 'Tis possible, though not easy, that the people of that island may be enslaved from other causes, but it cannot be by the prowess of an army so inconsiderable as that which has been usually kept up within the kingdom. Remember, I said this is very important, this paper, because it talks about having a very small standing army and how that translates into being able to have free institutions, people who are free, freedom loving, liberty loving. Because what happens is you're constantly on the watch. When your army is small, you're constantly on the watch to preserve your freedom, to let nobody step on it. But when kings or tyrants or authoritarian people tell you, we need this army because other people are going to attack us, other countries, our neighbors, and they built up this army gradually, and civilians start being scared of what will happen to them, and they gradually hand in their freedom to the authoritarian regime. And the military, the army, becomes a tool for them to suppress you with, to put their boots on your neck and force you to do things you don't want to do. And you gradually lose respect for your responsibility and your dignity as a civilian. So this paper is extremely important. A majority of historians don't think it this way because they are not thinking about other countries or as a whole what would happen if humanity were to unite. What options do we have? Do we want to give a big army a chance to rule over us, or do we want as civilians to be responsible as a civilian, as a citizen, to the upkeep of this planet, our home, our main country. Okay, I will go to the next paragraph. If we are wise enough to preserve the Union, we may for ages enjoy an advantage similar to that of an insulated situation. Europe is at a great distance from us. Her colonies in our vicinity will be likely to continue too much disproportioned in strength to be able to give us any dangerous annoyance. Extensive military establishments cannot, in this position, be necessary to our security. But if we should be disunited, and the integral parts should either remain separated, or, which is most probable, should be thrown together into 2 or 3 confederacies, we should be, in a short course of time, in the predicament of the continental powers of Europe. Our liberties would be a prey to the means of defending ourselves against the ambition and jealousy of each other. Remember, jealousy means distrust. It doesn't mean jealousy in the sense of the word that we use today. Jealousy, every time you hear jealousy, in the Federalist Papers, you're talking distrust. So, if we do not unite, then the European powers can take advantage of us, and then we will have to have standing armies, and then we will be just like the European countries that are on the continent. Notice when he says continental Europe, he's talking about Spain, France, not England. Because it said, for us, we have to try to be almost like England, except on a huge landmass. Just like England, we will be far away from people that can bother us if we stay united. And just like England, we can have a standing army if we stay united. And then our freedoms will not be vulnerable to attack by tyrants and authoritarian leaders. This is an idea not superficial nor futile, but solid and weighty. It deserves the most serious and mature consideration of every prudent and honest man of whatever party. If such men will make a firm and solemn pause and meditate dispassionately on the importance of this interesting idea, if they will contemplate it in all its attitudes and trace it to all its consequences, they will not hesitate to part with trivial objections to the Constitution, the rejection of which would in all probability put a final period to the Union. The airy phantoms that flit before the distempered imaginations of some of his adversaries would quickly give place to the more substantial prospects of dangers, real, certain, and formidable. In other words, we should not fall asleep listening to the fantasy that our opponents are telling you or making you believe. This is serious. If we unite, we can be powerful and we can preserve our freedom and liberties and make it so that we all prosper and do well. But if we do not, we will be weak and we will be preyed upon. P-R-E-Y, preyed upon, means we will be in the hands, will be tools in the hands of these European monarchies who do not want to see a republic succeed. Because all they want to tell the people, their own people and the people of the world, that the only way to live is under an absolute monarch, a king, which does not give you any rights, which does not respect your dignity. But we, Americans, want to set a good example for the rest of the world. And for us to be able to do that, we have to stay united.